Hello my beautiful glam fam, and welcome to today's video. We're testing out the brand new Easy Blur primer and foundation from Huda Beauty. We're gonna see how this wears on my mature skin. I have a ton of swatches for you guys. I went in store and swatched a bunch of the light to light medium range. So we're just gonna have some fun. If you're new here, I'm Kristi. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get glowing.
Let's go, girl.
Alright, my beautiful glam fam, let's jump right into it. So I am just filming this on a whim today because I was so excited to test out this new foundation. So this is Huda Beauty's latest foundation release, and this is called the Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation. This is a little bit different for Huda because usually you get those really full coverage foundations from her, and this is supposed to be more lightweight and serum base. So this retails for $37 US, and you get the standard 1 ounce and 30 mils. I'll put the price per mil there. You do get an 18-month shelf life, and this is made in Italy. So I'm going to show you guys the packaging right there. I went into my local Sephora. I did not purchase this foundation yet. I can't just go out and buy every single launch. So I really want to make sure this foundation works for me, and this is something I do recommend all of you doing. And I just got 4 different samples of all the shades that I could possibly be, and I swatched a bunch of them from that light to light medium range for all of my glam sisters, just in case you're having a hard time deciding on what shade you are. Remember, the Sephora sale is around the corner. So if I were you, I would wait and just see if you even like it. Get a sample. And from my past experience with Huda foundations, they do tend to run a little bit darker than you think you are. And they do oxidize a lot. And you will see that on these swatches that I did for you in store. I swatched them and was walking around talking to the girls, trying other products for an hour, and then I went outside and took some B-roll for you guys of all of the swatches so you can see how much it oxidized within an hour, where it was at, and that dry down time. You will see from the initial swatches they were pretty light, but this one definitely oxidized on my skin a lot. So I think I'm gonna go with creme brulee because by the time I walked out of the store, the girls were like, yes, that's definitely gonna be your shade. I could possibly go into toasted coconut, which is kind of jumping through the range there, but it stays within that golden beige undertone. That one could possibly be my undertone as well when I'm really self-tanned. Now I'm kind of at the end of my self-tan, but by the time winter hits, I'm definitely going to be creme brulee if you're a twinsy to me. And I do wear shade 2.5 Nougat in the concealer. And you guys know how much I loved that luminous concealer. That was like my #1 concealer for the longest time. So we are going to utilize that concealer in this video. Now I am not a fan of the Easy Bake powder like everybody else. I'm probably one of the few that don't really care for that powder, but I know a lot of you love it. So if you have that powder, it's gonna really go well with this mix. But let's touch on what this product is supposed to do. It's supposed to be a lightweight, medium to buildable coverage foundation. It's non-comedogenic and it's ultra blurring for an airbrushed finish. The highlighted ingredients are 1.5% niacinamide, which we all know smooths and refines the skin's texture and kind of helps with uneven texture. It also has silica, which is pore blurring and results in a natural airbrushed finish. She did state in her video this is supposed to be for all skin types, and it's supposed to be comfortable on the skin, blendable, and easy to apply. And it's available in 29 flexible shades. She reiterated in her video that they are supposed to be so flexible that you can go with 5 or 6 of the shades. And I do kind of agree with her on that because I was able to really, if you really look at those swatches right there, I really could go with anything in that middle range right there, but I personally like more of those golden undertones where those other ones by the time they oxidized looked very pink on me. So the first swatch I have is Vanilla 120B, and that's supposed to be for fair skin tones with a pinky beige undertone. Cashew, and that is for fair skin tones with peachy golden undertones. Creme Brulee 150G, which is supposed to be light with golden undertones. And that's typically what I am in her other foundations. So I think that's the one we're going to apply today, which is the one all of the girls felt like by the time it oxidized, it literally blended into my skin. And then Shortbread is light skin with pinky beige undertones. Chai, which was another one we thought could work, and that is light skin with beige undertones. The only thing with that one is by the time it oxidized, it really was leaning more pink than beige in my opinion. And then Custard is 220N, and that is light skin with neutral undertones. Macaroon 230N, light skin with golden neutral undertones. Toasted Coconut 240N, that's light medium with neutral undertones. Cheesecake, light medium with golden undertones. Apple Pie, light medium with pinky beige undertones. And then the last one is Latte 300N, light medium with neutral undertones. Obviously, those last few were just way too dark, and that is on my tanned arm, so it's going to look even lighter by the time it gets to my face. So those were definitely not gonna work for me. Like I said, I can really go with Creme Brulee if you're a twinsy to me. Toasted Coconut is gonna be a beautiful shade as well on me, and then possibly Chai. But I really wanna start off with Creme Brulee because that's the one I would feel the most comfortable with buying, just because I know during the winter time I am not going to be self-tanning, so I know I'm just going to be Creme Brulee. That's going to be my shade. Now let's quickly take a look at those ingredients. So water is the first ingredient, and then you can see the rest from there. I don't see anything personally that looks comedogenic. Let me know if you guys catch anything. I know some of the Glam sisters are really good at that, but thank goodness there's no coconut derivatives in here that I personally can see. And I like that she said it was non-comedogenic, and I don't see anything in there that could potentially break me out personally. Now everybody's different because you may see some ingredients you're like, well, that one breaks me out. So that's why I like to show it to you guys. Let's quickly touch on the primer. So this is the Easy Blur Silicone Free Smoothing and Pore Minimizing Primer, which I ended up buying because I had some points. So it was able to take that price down a lot. But this does retail for $29 US, and you get 1 ounce and 30 mils. And this primer reminded me a lot when I was swatching it in store of the NYX Freezy Face, which is why I didn't mind using my points on it, because I know I'm probably going to really love this primer. Now this is a silicone-free primer that's described as a non-comedogenic jelly-like primer that instantly controls excess oil, adds smooth texture, and blurs the pores for an airbrush soft focus effect. The highlighted ingredients are milk thistle extract, which is antioxidant rich and is supposed to soothe oily skin. She did say that she made this primer for all skin types, and combined with glycerin, it's supposed to be this magic combination, which moisturizes and soothes oily skin as well. It also has polymers to blur the appearance of pores and smooth your texture. A lot like the Freezy Face, this is delivering that refreshing, cooling, jelly-like texture, and it's supposed to layer well on top of skincare and SPF. Now this is a water-based primer, whereas the foundation is an oil-based, and she said going with the golden rule of you're not supposed to mix oil and water, right? Oil-based foundations and water-based primers. I never listen to those rules anyway. I go with what works for my skin type, and I mix a lot of oil-based foundations and water-based primers a lot of the time. So I don't mind defining what the rule is, because I think sometimes when you just find the right combination, it's there. And remember, technically there's no rules in makeup. It's just that if you look at it, yes, oil and water do not mix, but she does not recommend using, if you're gonna use this primer and you're gonna use this foundation on her video, she said don't use a sponge, or you can, but it would be better to use a brush or your fingers if you're going to mix the two together. All right, let's go in with this Easy Blur, and it is like a clear texture with like a pink kind of tone to it. Don't let that scare you. It's very similar to this NYX Freezy Face. Let me compare the two right here. So this is NYX Freezy Face. So if you're like, Kristi, I am on a budget. So this is 20 and this is 29. but you get a lot of product in this NYX Frizzy Face. I'll put the mils right there, or the grams. Oh, 150 or 50 mils. Yeah, so you're getting a lot more product. So if you're like, I'm on a budget, then I guarantee you this is gonna be a good dupe to this. And then this is the Huda one. And we'll see if it's, you guys already know how I use this in every video. So you guys know. So that is the textures right there. This was blue, that was pink. They're both, I mean, they literally feel the same. Yeah, it feels exactly the same. Okay, let me wipe this off because I don't want to mix the two. So I want to make sure I get it off my hands really good. Now, she said you're supposed to just be able to squeeze one little on each finger, and it should be one for each side of the face. So we're going to do exactly what she says. So we're going to press that in right there. And we're going to just, these type of primers are good to really just kind of press in like that. I mean, really that could have been for the whole face actually, because that was quite a bit of product. All right, and then just same thing like we did on that side. Again, this is the Easy Blur Primer. Yeah, I knew I was gonna like this. I would say maybe this one's a little bit more moisturizing feeling upon application, but again, if you're on a budget, don't worry about it. Just go with what you can afford. And you guys know I love the Frizzy Face. Easy. Getting them confused. I'm just kind of pressing. I like to bring the primer down to my neck area just because I put the foundation down my neck, and you should always kind of take that foundation down. So I'm going to do exactly what she said, and I am going to just make sure to use a brush just because I like to follow directions. We'll do a hand application first. You guys know I'll do my normal method that I usually do. Now on the bottle, you'll see right there, I'll show you, it does say to shake it. Now obviously I don't have the bottle, so we're gonna just shake the little sample thing. And then I'm going to pop that open, show you guys what that looks like. Beautiful undertone. I love this undertone. Okay, so we're just gonna take one little dab of this. I think a little is going to go a long way with this. And I'm going to start off here, and I'm just going to kind of spread it on my face. It looks a light upon application, but give it time to oxidize, you guys. Now there's no scent in the foundation. I smell a slight scent of something. I don't know what I'm smelling, not like a perfume, but I smell something. I don't know what I'm smelling. I'm gonna take the Rose and Ben, and this is the, because my Refer one is being cleaned right now. I just washed it. This is C42 and it's not dry yet. This is the new Rose and Ben C42, and I am gonna take that and just kind of start to work that in. Yeah, a little goes a long way with this, so you don't really need a lot. I'm trying to decide on what I'm smelling on it. I don't know what it is. It doesn't bother me, but there is a slight scent to it. I don't think it said fragrance free either, so I'll put it right there if it is. So that is what it looks like. It's just a really light layer. So you're not getting a ton of coverage with that particular layer that I did, but that was literally just one little finger swab. So we're gonna take a little bit more this time, about that much. And I'm just gonna start working it in. Sometimes you can even get a little more coverage with your fingers. I'm gonna build that up. And again, she said, now it's supposed to be very buildable. It is not like super thin, you know, it's thin, but it's not like super thin. So you feel some coverage to it, and you definitely have pigment to this. So I can see what she means by that. I think it could be layered pretty good is what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna take the brush now and just kind of start pressing it in. I'm gonna try to do a sponge to pull away just to see if anything gets affected. I'm usually fine, and NYX is a water-based primer, and I always mix it with my foundation, so oil-based or not. So I'm gonna try. I kind of feel, it feels tacky, you know, I don't know. It feels sticky right here. So just so you guys know, I never feel sticky with this one though. So I don't know if it's the primer or the foundation, but it'll probably dry down fine. Yeah, I'm smelling something. I just don't know what I'm smelling. I would definitely just try this. Get a sample. You never know. I definitely think creme brulee matches me perfect. I think toasted coconut would have been too dark by the time it oxidized. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more. Just gonna see how this builds. Again, when I do these type of reviews, I'm just testing. I really want to see, because I know some of you like coverage, so I just want to see what kind of coverage you can get out of this. Now, like she said, you can go very light with this. I didn't get very much on my nose, so I'm just trying to make sure that's there. A lot of pigment to this. I want to try doing a sponge now, just because I want to see. I'm just spreading the product out first. I'm gonna pull that down my neck. I just want to see. Okay, so this is pretty dry by now. If you do this, my recommendation is take a towel and make sure this is not, it's just damp, lightly damp. You don't want it to be wet. If it's wet, that is when things are going to start to go sideways for you. So just keep that in mind. You don't want it dry, but you also don't want it wet. So just slightly damp. All right, let's just kind of see what we get from this. If it does anything to disrupt anything. No, nothing's happening, so that's good. Yeah, if you want to do that, just make sure the sponge is not. And she said work in sections, work slowly if you're going to use a sponge, but she recommended a brush or fingers. Very beautiful though. I mean, once it's there, I think once it dries down and once you set it down, it'll be fine, but you do feel a little bit of tack there. I don't feel like it's accentuating any of my texture, which is good. I have texture on my cheeks still, and I have a lot of discolorization still from sun damage, and that was from picking. That was definitely enough product. That would probably be about 2 pumps or 2 squeezes, because I was just taking minimal amounts on my finger. Little goes a long way. This is a very pigmented product. Let me just look in the magnifying mirror and make sure I didn't, because sometimes I look at my editing and I go, your bad eyes are really starting to show through. I think it's looking good. All right, I'm gonna pull you in close. We're gonna take a look at it, and then I'm gonna go in natural daylight on my iPhone and show you guys what that looks like. And I will have my skincare routine down in the description box below. All right, you guys, I am going to go in with the Huda concealer, and I'm also going to do a little bit of Tantour, a favorite of mine from the past, and I am shade Fair in this. This one's really dark, and it's just been a really good product. I just don't reach for it that often, but it is really good. We're just going to kind of bronze up the skin with this a little, not do so much contouring, just more bronzing up the skin. I'm going to take this off the back of my hand because do we see how pigmented that is? And I don't want it to see. If I would have went right to my skin, it would have been too much product, and I don't need that. Now I'm going to take my sponge and just go over that. Nothing's lifting. Products are going over very nicely, as I expected it would. Very nice. Okay, let's go in with the concealer. Again, this is 2.5 Nougat, and this is the Faux Filter. And you guys already know my love for this concealer. I'm like, I hope it's still good. I haven't used this in so long. I always said, I did tell you guys in that community post that I was going to start going back to products that I used to love and see if I still love them. Just kind of go like this, just to clean up that contour that I went a little crazy on. I'm going to take the Rose and Bend brush, just kind of go like that. If you ever go too aggressive with your bronzer or contour, you can always do that and see how that just kind of cleaned that up. All right, I'm going to go in with my sponge, and we're just going to start to blend that. Gosh, I haven't used this concealer in so long because I just use my Hourglass one all the time. So it feels very tacky, like I have makeup on. That's my initial reaction to it. Maybe as I wear it longer, I might feel differently, but as of right now, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Am I overjoyed with it? I think you can tell by my reaction. It's good, it's good. I just don't know if it's as good as my top products, right? Maybelline Skin Tint, NARS Sheer Glow, which is not even really around anymore. So, and then Surat, obviously the Dewdrop is just unreal, and Armani Luminous Silk. So those are like lightweight ones that I feel like kind of give you that same effect, but they feel light on the skin, where right now I feel like I have makeup on, and I don't want to feel like that anymore, especially as I get older. All right, let's set this down and see how it looks once I really blur things out. Let's be honest, setting powders always blur everything out. Going in with one size in shade 5. I like to use this one when I'm a little bit darker. Usually I use 2R, but I've been reaching for this one lately just to kind of use it up as well. Now let's see the magic happen. There we go. Do you guys see like the difference between magic, nothing? This is why I am a powder girl all the way. Like, I could not live without powder. I know some people don't like powder, and I know people tell you if you have mature skin, don't wear powder. I don't believe any of that stuff. Go with what works for you. Maybe that doesn't work for some people, but again, there's no rules in makeup. Do what works best for you. I mean, let's be honest, all foundations look better once you put an airbrushed powder on top of it. As you can tell, 5 is not as brightening as my 2R. I love my 2R, but it still works. And because I use Chantecaille under my eye as like a natural highlighter in shade Petal, this is going to give me that brightening effect. And I like to use this powder with a brush. For some reason, this one just works best with a brush. I just find it best with that. And I'm just going to take that and lightly dust that on. And do you see the magic of that powder now? So that is kind of what it looks like. I'm gonna take a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury. This is my method. Do what works best for you. This is what makes my makeup stay all day. I feel like it's starting to dry down a little now. It's not so tacky. You just don't want to go in with your bronzers and stuff if it's still tacky. All of my brushes are being washed right now, so I am left with brushes I don't typically use, but that's okay. Switching things up a little. Let's take a Wayne Gloss brush. We're gonna go into, let's go into my Makeup Forever. This is the new bronzers from last year. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it right there. And just bronze up. We're doing something so simple because I'm literally gonna be taking this off. So that's why. Nothing, I just want to see how other products are laying on this. That's the only point to this. Let's add in a little bit of depth with my Victoria Beckham, and I'm just gonna go into, this is shade 4. I'm gonna take that on the back of my hand because this is a very aggressive. Let's go in with my Swede powder really quick, just because this makes everything just so flawless. Okay, I'm just gonna do a little bit. This is the Miracle Powder in Light. You guys know this is the only loose powder that I really love right now, besides my Sicily one. I'm just gonna dip my Surat brush. This powder brush is so lightweight, it barely distributes product on. This is why I love this as a finishing brush. And do you see that magic right there? Yeah, there's the filter right there. That's magical. This works with any foundation, makes it look beautiful. This is the real life filter right here. Oh, so pretty. All right, you guys, I am going to show you guys, pull you in close what it looks like. I'm gonna finish up, do my brows, put some lashes on, make myself a little bit more presentable, and then I'll come back with my final thoughts. All right, Glam Fam, so that is how it looks once I finished up my makeup. I decided not to put any lashes on. We're just gonna go rogue today. This makes, I feel like I am running out of the house naked right now. I never not wear lashes, but my lashes are growing again thanks to my City Beauty Lash Serum that I've been using. They're getting back to my normal length where they were before I started doing lash extensions years ago, and it totally demolished my lashes, and now it's getting a little bit better. So I am trying this out. I still don't feel very confident with it, but you know, that's where we are. I've got wild hair going on today. You guys, I was not prepared to film. This is my natural hair, like literally air dry. So it's pretty frizzy right now. I'm like, oh my God, I have naturally wavy hair. So anyway, sorry for all that, but I really wanted to get this video out for you guys. I did just kind of pop on a little bit of these shades from the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette. I just used that shade, and those two right there, and that's it on my eye. And then I just added in my Tom Ford Explicit Flush Blush, say that 10 times, and a little bit more Surratt bronzer, just to kind of bronze up the skin a little bit more and add a little just structure to it. I am wearing a Victoria Beckham lip liner and my Too Faced Lip Injection lip liner. And I kind of use that as lipstick. And I'm trying to pull out some of my products I haven't been using. So I had this Fenty Beauty Heat lip gloss. I don't even know if these are still around because these are from years ago. But I'll put the shades right there. This is one of the Heat ones, and then this is like a pinky color one. So I will put the shade names. Everything will be down, linked in the description box below as always. Let's touch on this foundation. So I've had it on for about an hour now. I took some time before I came back and filmed this portion. I will wear this more throughout the week and see where I'm at with it. And if it changes at all, I'll let you know when it comes to the wear time portion of my rate card. So if you're new here, I like to rate my products, especially foundations and concealers, because I wanna help you guys make the best choice for yourself. And remember, I'm rating this based off of my skin type. Everybody's different. So I take a look at application, the overall finish, and then I also look at the shade range, the overall wear time, and then I also look at packaging, shelf life, where it's made, and all that good stuff. And then I give you guys an overall glam score and whether or not I would repurchase, or in this case, purchase the product, and in the primer repurchase, because I am gonna kind of just throw that in at the end. So let's take a look at the application. As far as the application goes, I don't think there was a lot of science to it where you have to worry about not using a sponge because of the oil and water mixture of the primer and foundation. I found it to be pretty good as long as you do it with the tips that I gave you guys with, you know, not using your sponge when it's really, really damp, making sure that it's just at a good level. And then just blending it out with my hands was absolutely fine with this product. You can use any brush you want. Any type of dense brush is obviously going to give you more product pigment and more coverage, I should say. I found that the more you built it up, it didn't look cakey or anything like that, so I do appreciate that. I felt like all of the other products underneath, well, actually I didn't really have anything underneath, but that I went over it, like the contour. I think even a cream blush you're gonna be fine with. The powders went over it really beautifully, and I liked the way it looked once I put the powders on. So I'm gonna give overall application a 5 out of 5. As far as the overall finish, this is just going to depend on preference, but for my preferences, I typically like anything from a natural finish to almost a demi-matte finish, just for my personal preference. But I also really like skin tints now, which do deliver a little bit more radiance to the skin, but I like to use my powders to kind of blur out the pores. So this one, I felt like the finish was, I would say, a natural demi-matte finish. That's probably where I would rate this at. It is a serum texture. It is, you can feel that oil base in it. It slips on really nicely, but it doesn't slide around, which is really good. Like the Makeup by Mario one, that one slipped around a lot, where this one stayed put once it was there. Now it did stay tacky, but that's not necessarily bad, because that means that it could have a longer wear time when it happens. It just takes a while for it to dry down. It's dried down now and it feels lightweight. So at first, upon application, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. It's feeling heavy, but now it feels like I have nothing on. So that's a good sign. So as far as the overall finish, that's like the matte level percentage I would put right there. And just my overall finish preferences, that's what I look at. Is it blurring? Is it hydrating? Is it smoothing on the skin? Those are the things that I really look for, and I'll put the percentages right there. I like to think about it and go through it when I'm post editing and put those percentages in there. So I will show you right there what that feedback was there. And as far as the overall finish, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. It wasn't bad, it wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't bad either. As far as the shade range goes, I did find a really beautiful shade, and it is for for me, very flexible. That 29 flexible shades, I do feel like you can kind of get away with them. Just something you're gonna wanna try though. I do recommend going in store before you're purchasing it and see what shade you are. Take it home, see what, see how it's going to oxidize with your own pH levels and natural oils. You really need to test that out yourself. I think if you're a twinsy to me, I preferably like creme brulee. I like that golden undertone. If you're a little bit darker to me and you want that type of undertone, I would go with the toasted coconut. But I'll show you guys all of the shades right there again, and I will post that in the community tab, and I probably will have a short either before this video that you already saw or after this video showing all of the swatches and stuff. But hopefully that helps you guys out, because I know it's really difficult. Some people don't have local Sephoras next to them. Some people want to be able to see the shades live and in natural daylight. So that's why I like to do that outside to show you guys what that looks like, because that's really going to give you the true indication. And that was an hour later. So that really tells you what those shades are going to look like once oxidized. I really like creme brulee. I think it is a beautiful shade for my undertone. So I am very happy about that. So I'm going to give shade range a 5 out of 5, because although I don't like that a lot of them ran in the pink undertone, I still appreciated the fact that I found a shade. And once mixed with my oils and my other products, I felt like it really worked for me. So I have to base it off of that. As far as the overall wear time, so this is where, if I'm giving you first impression in the first couple hours that I've had this foundation on, I would say it's wearing really nicely, and I can kind of judge because I know my skin and I know my preferences and I know how foundations wear on me pretty early on. I would initially give it a 4 out of 5 because I don't really see it like really in my fine lines or anything like that. I feel like she's right. It really sits on top of the skin once on the primer. The primer kind of shields it, and then it just kind of sits on top. That was her explanation of it, where it's not going to seep too much in and really accentuate texture and all of that stuff. So we'll have to see. I need to give it a little bit more time, sometimes even wearing it for a couple more weeks. So I will always update you guys and pin a comment in this video. So always check back for that. But as far as the wear time goes right now, I am thinking it's gonna be a 4 out of 5, but I will put it right there if it changes. And then as far as the packaging goes, I like the packaging. I like these squeezy tubes. I just did the Sephora Reveal the Skin tint type of foundation. That one is definitely lighter weight than this one. If you want more of that skin tint, go with that, or Maybelline skin tint is my favorite. But if you want a little bit more coverage, you can really make this more glam, then this is going to be for you. But let's get back to packaging. I like that it's made in Italy. I like that it has an 18-month shelf life. That's not bad for the ingredients, and you'll go through this pretty fast if you're using it on a daily basis. You don't have to worry about that. And I just like that it's travel friendly. I always feel if a product is really good, I'll pay for it. If a product is really fabulous and I'm getting a good deal on it, like the Maybelline skin tint, that's even better. But if I really like a product, you guys know I'll pay for it, because I feel like with mature skin, you can't really cut corners. You got to just find what works for you. So as far as the overall packaging goes, I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5. I will put my total glam score right there because I still need to think about wear time, and I'm not really quite sure where I'm going to be right there. So I am going to tell you guys that score. I'm going to show you guys that score right there. Would I purchase this foundation? I would say that about a 90% right now. Upon first impression, I would purchase it during a sale time. Would I buy this full price? Probably not, because it wouldn't be one that I would reach for all the time. I'm gonna reach for my Maybelline skin tint all the time. That's just my #1 foundation. I can glam that up. I can wear that natural. It's easy to travel with, and it's just my go-to. So I can't, at good heart, purchase something for over $30 where I know I'm not going to utilize it that much. But if it's on sale, that's a whole nother story. And if I have my Sephora points from using my Sephora Visa card, then that might be something I might throw it at. But we'll have to see where I'm at. I'm gonna give this a little bit more time, get through these samples, and see if I like it. So I will keep you guys updated with that. As far as the primer goes, I like it. I don't know if I love it yet. I need to keep playing with this. This is a dupe, I would say, this next one, because this is a higher end brand. And for $20, I love this so much, and you're getting the same type of effect. So for me, $29, I mean, I got it for cheaper because I used my points towards it. Which is why I'm gonna keep playing with it. But as far as repurchasing, I don't know if I would do that because I really like this for a $20 price point and 50 mils of product versus $29 for 30 mils of product. So that's where I am at with that. If you're really asking me right now to make a choice, if you were to go out and purchase them tomorrow, right now, I would currently say still go with the next one. But I don't know, because maybe I might change my mind down the road. So anyway, if you have your eyes out on this, definitely give it a try. Like I always say, take my reviews with a grain of salt and where I rate products, because you just never know until you try it. So I always like you guys to do that. And I hope you enjoyed this quick review. I tried not to make it too lengthy for you guys, but I wanted to get quick and to the point and just let you guys know information-wise where I'm at with it. Ingredients, I know you guys trust me on the ingredients. I like the ingredients on these two products, so I'm really happy about that. I think Huda puts a lot of time and effort into her products and how she develops stuff, and I really do appreciate that. So great job on another great launch. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you're new here, before you go, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and click that post notification bell. Join our beautiful Glam Fam. We're here every week, and we just love for you to become part of our family. And if you did like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. When you guys hit the like button and say hello, comment below, throw an emoji, whatever it is, it really does help my videos out. And I love to hear from you guys. It's such a great joy to me to just conversate with you guys back and forth every week. And we've been doing those premiere lives where we've been able to chat live in the comments, and I really like doing that with you guys. It's really fun. So when I have the time, I will always let you guys know in the community tab. So make sure you have your notification bell on. And you guys, it really does help and support my channel, even if you don't decide to purchase any of these products when you guys do all the YouTube-y things. So I do appreciate that. But if you do want to purchase any of this stuff, I will have all of the affiliate links below. You can follow my shorts. I'm here weekly with shorts, and I'm also on Instagram, and you can also follow me on TikTok. And I do have a blog, KristiAllure.com, where I have all of my skincare and all of that good stuff. All the affiliate links will be on my website, as well as my Shop My link, and you can always find them right here in YouTube, because you can link the products now, and that will take you directly to Sephora's site or any of the other sites that I link. So I do appreciate that so much, you guys. Thank you for joining me today, and please check out that video next, and I will see you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.